Hey team, hope you're having a great day. We have a next analysis on Euro Swiss franc, so let's get into it. We're starting on monthly as usual because we need to look from the top down. What's the first thing we do? We look for horizontal area of buy and sell sensitivity so we can identify our monthly zones, and we did just that. Here's our monthly upper, mid, and lower zone. So after identifying area of sensitivity, what do we do next? That's right. We identify what price is telling us. What's the story that this time frame is telling us? Now, what I see a lot of people would miss, so let's talk about it. After a push to the downside, what's next? An exhaustion, and what's after the exhaustion? A continuational push. That's the usual market cycle. Here we see a push to the downside, exhaustion to our mid-range zone, sellers entered the market, but buyers did not let this continuational push happen. So, when buyers entered the market, they swung price the other way, took control. This is also considered a push because price broke an area of sensitivity. There was sell pressure at this area, so it broke to the upside, so it became a push. So when we have a push to the upside, what's next? Exhaustion, which we see. We now see buy sensitivity re-enter the market at our monthly mid-range zone, which is expected. So we have a potential higher time frame continuational push to the upside to retest our monthly upper zone. Let's take it down a time frame for a closer look. All right, on to the weekly. We identified our weekly mid-range zone by identifying horizontal buy and sell pressure. So what's the story that price is giving us? Well, here's that higher time frame push to the upside, exhaustion, potential continuational push to the upside. Sellers broke this weekly mid-range zone to the downside to complete its exhaustion. That's expected because this is a higher time frame exhaustion. Now, buy sensitivity entered the market at our weekly mid-range zone. This is also expected. Now, sellers tried to break to the downside 3 times. Buyers tried to break to the upside of this weekly mid-range zone, also 3 times. So that means sellers are protecting the upside, buyers are protecting the downside, which means one thing, we are now in consolidation, so this becomes our play field. All right, taking it down another time frame to the daily for a closer look. What do? We identify our mid-range zone. So here we see horizontal buy and sell pressure, so we identify our daily mid-range zone. Okay, so let's summarize what we know. We know that our daily mid-range zone is also an area of sensitivity, so that means there was buy sensitivity that sellers broke right through. Now, when price breaks an area of sensitivity, whether to the upside or to the downside, it really doesn't matter. What is that? That's a push. What's after a push? An exhaustion. So I already know, and we're only on the daily, I already know. Here we have a push to the downside. We're likely going to be waiting for an exhaustion and a continuational push on the lower time frame to retest our monthly mid-range zone. So there may be an opportunity to capitalize on this move to the downside because it definitely makes sense, or it looks clear at least, due to the strength of sell pressure, that price is not ready yet for that continuational push to the upside. So we're likely going to see a retest of our monthly mid-range zone once more. All right, on to the 4-hour, we're looking for entry. We know on the higher time frame, the daily, that we see a push to the downside. So we're looking for an exhaustion, for an entry, for that continuational push. So here we see a minor exhaustion. Now we have to think about the scale of the movement. Is this enough of a break and exhaustion? In my opinion, no. I'm going to be waiting for price to make more of a substantial move to the downside, and at the very least breaking below previous low. So I'm going to be waiting for more of a substantial break. Then I'm going to be waiting for that exhaustion, and at price action confirmation, we're going to be going short. So at completion of exhaustion, we're waiting for a bearish engulfing candle before entry to the downside. So what would make the trade invalid? Well, at completion of exhaustion, if we fail to see the sell pressure we need for that continuational push to the downside, and buyers take control or regain control and break back above its daily mid-range zone, this trade becomes invalid because, well, there's not enough sell pressure. If this analysis helped you in any way, team, please make sure to like below. Have a great night.